Okay, so in my last video I mentioned that I was going to try and put this in some sort of order and talk about what you can actually see in the footage. For the sake of the exercise, ignore the stuff that's actually on the screen other than the people that you can see running about. So you can see from these various clips that they all seem to centre around this particular area where the cameramen were, and I don't want to focus on the fact that this happened on the 6th of January and the question as to whether this Christmas tree should still be up at this point, but the idea is that the Christmas tree is a landmark in effect. We can see it in all the different clips, so this is all happening within the same area. But what's important to note is that all the clips are showing almost like a burst of people running out of the airport, so it's not one long clip showing a stream of people. It's almost like one group of people, they go for one camera, next group of people, they go for the other camera, and so on and so on. Now, before I explain as to how I came to the conclusion of the order of those clips that I've put together, this particular clip is very short, as are all the clips. They never drag out for any long period of time. You never see sort of a beginning, middle and end. It's just one quick rush clip and they move on to something else. Because if they did play this clip fully and focus on it, you'd see the glaringly obvious things that are wrong with this particular clip. So what I'd like you to do is look where this arrow is and keep your focus on that and look what you actually see. So like the Brussels airport event, there's in fact a dummy involved in this. There's a YouTube channel called Anaconda Malt Liquor, and when this particular event was occurring, he pointed out that there's actually a guy directing the people that are running from here. So not only have you got that dummy that you've just watched, you can actually see somebody actually instructing people to come running out, which is why they're all bunched up at 1 second and then suddenly everything happens, and it's for the sake of this particular clip. They've got everybody in position and then the guy is effectively going action and everybody starts running. So this time look beyond this guy and just past the Christmas tree. You can see him there waving his hands around, as I say, to direct the people that are coming running towards the camera. Now you see up to this particular point people are just sort of walking fairly calmly towards the exit, but when you see that guy's hand lift up, then everybody starts to panic and then there's activity as if he has just gone and said action, and everybody starts running all at the same time, not to mention that dummy in the background. But I believe that's why they end up zooming out afterwards, because they've realised that they're picking up something that shouldn't really be seen. In real time you'd never pick that up because of the way the news portray these things. That clip is only seconds long, but because of the nature of the way that we look at these things, that's how we end up spotting the inconsistencies, and that's all we want other people to do too, is not only spot them but listen to what we're saying when we try and point these things out to them. So back to the order of the clips. The way I've put them together is based on the position of one particular person who seems to feature in various different videos. He's a guy called Santa Paul, and you can't really miss him because he looks like Father Christmas, but he dresses in green and pink dungarees. So here he is sitting on a bench as people are leaving the airport. Here he is in the next clip with his dog watching people leave. Here he is now outside watching people run away. And here he is photobombing someone's selfie. So other than a guy that seems to be everywhere, Santa Paul did in fact give an interview to a news station. So what we'll do is we'll play the clip and then I'll pause it as and when he says something inconsistent to the official narrative.
So you're still outside?
Yes, we are. We're still outside. Let's see if I can turn this around. This is all that's happening right now.
Because it was unclear if it was an unknown over there.
Yeah.
So it's your size of this.
Sheriff's Department and SWAT, they're all still here. All the news trucks are all down the road here. People are still here, and I think they've just started letting people in once under escort into the bathroom break.
So whilst it's going to take a minute or two for him to get into the story as to what's actually happened, he's established that he is outside Terminal 1, he's not far away from that valet box, and he's also confirmed that the news are just further. They were in fact in between the two terminals. They sort of set up on like a bridge that overlooks the runways.
But now everybody's just anxious, waiting to get back inside.
Everyone's been pretty calm outside, waiting.
Yes, yeah. It's they know it was a serious situation here, and everyone has just been very calm and letting the police and sheriff and FBI do their thing. And we're all just waiting. I know I missed my flight home, and many other people are. I'm sure the airlines are going to have a field day to try to make everybody's connections.
Did you hear any of the gunshots or see the gunman or?
We did hear a few shots, pops that sounded like shots, but the first incident happened in the Terminal 2.
This is simply not possible. How can he hear gunshots in the Terminal 2? And not only that, in the lower baggage area of Terminal 2, with the amount of people that are going to be there, with the planes, the distance, everything. So there's no way, if he did hear shots, it certainly didn't come from the shooter, but he acknowledges the fact that it first came from Terminal 2. So either he's lying or something else happened here.
Down away from us, and evidently he came running from there and up through Terminal 1 and past us.
Again, this is simply not possible. How could he see the shooter coming past them? He says that he's heard them shoot, that was in a different terminal, and then next minute the guy appears in Terminal 1. Well, we know that the official story, based on the press conference which was done half an hour after the shooting, was that this guy was shooting and gave himself up within 5 minutes. So who is this person he's even describing, or is he just making it up as he goes along?
When everybody just started freaking out and running out past us, and they kind of scared fire, and they ran so close, he snapped at a couple of people just from being kind of freaked out. But I let everybody out of the terminal first, and I was the last one out to make sure that, keep them safe away from her teeth.
I'm going to say that he's making this up on the spot because of the fact that he's nervously laughing about being the one that made sure that everybody got out and he was the last one out, so that he made sure that no one got hurt, see, whatever that means.
After I spoke with you, another group of maybe 50 police in blue uniforms, they just came out, and we still have a few of the sheriff's SWAT team standing right outside our door right here. And see if I can get that for you.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, everybody has been really calm.
One thing that bugs me about this particular interview is that it keeps cutting. You'll notice it every so often, and this particular clip coming up, you'll notice it just cuts completely, and it makes me wonder as to why. What is it that they're cutting out that we're not supposed to be hearing, or is it just because he's rambling on and it's just unnecessary? But the fact that it's just cut and edited in a case like this, in an event like this where we're trying to put things together, cutting bits out never looks good.
I was supposed to fly out at 6:30 today on Alaska Airlines. announcement of any kind that anybody who has a car in the parking garage, they're allowed to go get their cars and they can leave the airport, but we can still not go inside the terminal. Anybody who's got a flight, we cannot go inside yet. We've been outside for since about 2 o'clock.
So he's just said that they've been waiting outside since 2 o'clock. Well, given the fact that it was before 1 o'clock that the actual shooting happened, it was over in 5 minutes, another hour has passed, and then he says that they've been waiting outside since then. So is that because the evacuation took an hour before everybody was outside? That's more likely. But then you've got that news story that we saw in the previous video that tries to allege that something happened at about 2:30. So how can it be? Because the clip that they're using is of this guy. Well, he's supposed to be already outside by 2 o'clock, so nothing could have happened at 2:30.
So it's it's been a while. Just everybody is real respectful of the wishes of the police and sheriff here, and really everybody's been very calm considering. When the suspected shooter ran through Terminal 1, it just got real crazy with everybody running out. Okay, thank you. And it just got crazy for, maybe 10-15 minutes then. But once everybody was outside, pretty much everybody calmed down because the police were already here at that point.
I just can't get my head around this particular version of events. We know that there's a police station within this particular terminal. He's saying in one hand that they've seen a shooter, which can't be possible, that they've heard shots, but everybody's calm, that the police are already there, have already got there because of something else, which I can only assume he means is the shooting at Terminal 2. Everything's so muddled up, but it can't be right because ultimately you have to work off what the official story is, and the official story is guy in Terminal 2 shoots a few people, gives up within 5 minutes, and everything else is done.
I was back here returning my rental car when I heard so many sirens going by, just wondering what that was. So that's when the shooting actually happened, before I got to the terminal here.
So he's just said that he was dropping off a rental vehicle before getting to the terminal. Now there is a rental place in the car park that faces Terminal 1, so I can only presume that that's where he was. But the idea that he's seen police cars with their sirens because of a shooting, but then he's not in the terminal when he sees that, yet he's only just said that he was in Terminal 1 when he heard the shots and saw the shooter walk past him. So again, the story and the timeline is all wrong.
One little incident that did happen just after all the commotion, when everybody ran outside, I did have one woman with a young child. I just happened to be standing by myself, and she came over and just gave me a big hug and said, "Santa, can you keep us safe?" So
That's sweet.
Beautiful things like that have happened, and a lot of people have, come over and, want to talk to Santa. So Santa's got that magic. I did have one woman with a young child. I just happened to be standing by myself, and she came over and just gave me a big hug and said,
"You're an emotional fucking cripple. Your soul is dog shit. Every single fucking thing about you is ugly."